What do you think is the number one thing that I should never miss?
We exclude wide-angle lens and a camera. I would say light, because if it's crappy light, it just looks terrible. I mean, when we started doing vlogs, we didn't have that much gear at all. That is sometimes helpful not to have too much stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have too much stuff, you kind of think more about the angle rather than the concept.
Hi and welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna go through like pretty much everything I pack when I fly to Jon Olsson to shoot with him. I'm flying up tomorrow to shoot 2 vlogs actually and a bunch of short commercial stuff, since this is a personal brand. And the last time when we were in Stockholm, we were taking you along on some corporate stuff and some industrial companies. And with him, it's pretty special. No, I don't have the key.
Yeah, you do. How about this? How about you jump in the car and try to start it, see if it's on me somewhere magically. Okay, so it's in the car.
So where do I begin? Well, I would say I will start with the simple thing, and that is the phone. I think we shoot quite frequently with the phone, even though it's not the main camera that I use to shoot with him. You know, it's always nice to have like a good phone with an SSD drive and obviously a cable to shoot the best quality possible. And since I said I'm always in the, in a run and gun type situation, even though we don't shoot daily vlogs anymore, it's always nice to have that setup with me. Like if I go somewhere, I bring this and then I bring the mic. I also bring the light. The light actually is something that we use, I think 90% of the time, because, with him, we are going a lot of times in and out of a car, of a room. So light is always changing. And since I personally like to, set up everything manually as good as possible, a light is always like a game changer, and it saved me so many times. This hot shoe is pure plastic, so I tend to break that quite frequently. So I bought just in case a few of those. And in case you need help with camera gear or what to pack in your backpack or anything about cameras in general, you will find in the link description a discovery call where we are more than happy to help you. Moving on, the camera that we're shooting this entire setup with is the main camera that I also use. That's the Canon R5C, and the reason why I decided to shoot with that is because it's the perfect hybrid camera. We can take amazing photos with it for thumbnails and of cars or anything that is necessary. And then you also have the full-on 8K RAW option if you want. With the vlogs, usually we just shoot everything in 4K up to 60 FPS. Sometimes I also tend to shoot 120, but it's quite of a rare occasion these days, since with kids also, because he has 2 kids, Leon and Leah, it's quite, you have to be quite fast. So to set up everything, it's not that easy with that camera, because as soon as you switch into the video function, it's a full cinema camera. That's not the easiest of cameras that you should use when you shoot a vlog, because like I said, everything has to be fast. So everything has its purpose. But with a camera like this, I feel like it's the perfect hybrid camera between, shooting a vlog and also shooting some short commercials or simple commercial stuff. I actually tend to have this little, I would say, double hot shoe that I put on the main hot shoe. On one side I will have like the receiver, and on the other side I will have the light. So back in the days we used to have like a normal shotgun mic. That's the MK400 I think from Sennheiser, and it's a great mic, but a lot of people have complained about the sound, and it's not always, unfortunately, not always my fault. But if you shoot with the phone, we have the setup, we have the connection parts for that, but it's not always working so well, especially with like wireless stuff. And with Yoon, he doesn't really want to have a mic on him all the time. Of course, he prefers it, but at the same time, he's also like with kids and changing clothes and everything. It's not super easy. So I personally like the DJI Mic Mini. I really think that's one of the best microphones out there. We use it for this YouTube channel all the time because it's small, it fits into my backpack with a bunch of other stuff, doesn't take too much space, and obviously the runtime on these mics it's insane. With this mic, I would say I use it 50% of the time, because it's not always needed, but it's always nice to have it with me in case I know we do some action stuff where a mic is not possible to really be mounted on Yoon. So Sennheiser MK400, always nice to have in my backpack as well. Then we have the famous Osmo Nano, which is new in my camera bag, but that's something that Jeremy and I, we really love this small little camera, because it's undetachable. You have an extra monitor here, and this one is magnetic, so you can place it to things. It's perfect for those simple time-lapse shots. Since the microphone is so good, I really would like to sometimes give this to you and be like, okay, just, let's start the vlog and you shoot yourself. Since we haven't shot a vlog in the last 2 months, we haven't used this amazing camera. So out of my camera bag, I will mention 3 products that I think it's a must. and that's one of them. So moving on, we have the Insta360 X4. With this setup, you get a lot of interesting angles for the vlog. There's also like a signature thing that Jeremy and I already mentioned. We always bring duct tape. Yoon has duct tape, so I don't need to pack it. Sometimes this pole needs to be duct taped to certain things. It's like so sturdy, and I really like it when we go on a boat, for example, and you can't fly the drone. It's always nice to have that as a, just in case situation. We are happy with the X4, and we use it for a lot of actually social media stuff when we work with other brands as well. So highly recommend that as well. Moving on, we have another Insta360 product, and that's the Ace Pro 2. And it has a flip out screen. The battery life on that is also amazing. It charges up in 20 minutes, up to 80%. It shoots 8K. The reason why I have these two is because this is more of a vlog style run and gun kind of setup. And this one is really when I know you put it on an excavator or you put it somewhere outside the car, and in case it falls off or something, you need something pretty rugged. So this is the perfect camera for it. Yeah, you can change the lenses as well, so that's also something really nice. And the microphone of that small little action camera is insane as well. Then you also have a bunch of batteries for the Canon R5C, and I think it's funny that people always say like, oh, you need a bunch of batteries for Canon and blah blah. Well, I shot with Sony, Leica, Red and Canon now, and I would say with all the cameras you need a certain amount of batteries, especially when you shoot a vlog, and you never know when you get a chance to charge them up again. In total I have 6 batteries, and then there's something that I will recommend which has nothing to do with the vlog, but that's something we use for our thumbnails, and that's the Gortox V100C. It's a flash, and that flash is insane. You really can get amazing footage with that. It's always nice. Like lately we have been using that, I think, since the summer. Even though you can bring the light and you can bring, extra reflectors and everything, this thing is so strong that you really don't need anything. So that's the number 2 out of 3 products that I would definitely recommend. I actually travel only with 2 lenses. I started to actually use less and less the 70-200, even though we have one. But in my camera bag, there's not a lot of space and I have to make sacrifices. What I'm shooting this video on right now is the 24-70 2.8 RF lens. And then I also have a 14-35 RF, again with an ND filter. This lens is actually super good because we shoot 90% of the vlogs with it. I would say this is still like quite of a lightweight setup for professional social media content. I move on now to the main attraction of my camera bag. I used to have the DJI Mavic 4 Pro, but now when I travel up to Stockholm to shoot with you, I'll only bring the Mini 5 Pro. This is the setup for flying with drones. And I don't need to worry about where I'm gonna fly this drone because it's under 249 grams, so I don't need to worry about where I take off and how it goes. But I would say this is my number 3 pick, quite fast, I know. Now we have mics. Obviously, like I mentioned before, there are 2 mics in there. The receiver is right now on the camera, and I think that's one of the mics that I'm actually also really surprised. If I shoot cars, for example, and I want to get the engine sound and stuff, I have a trick. I put the mic inside the car rather than outside. It always depends which car, but if I know what car I'm shooting, then I either would go for the inside version and put it like somewhere by the trunk for the best sound, or I would have an extra mic, a professional mic, like a lav mic where it's connected to the exhaust and everything, so to get it done properly, which we will do very soon, just saying. The reason why I'm sitting here alone today is because Jeremy has pretty much the identical backpack, and we figured, okay, well, maybe not so interesting for people to see twice the same backpack. And of course the red is also something that we sometimes use, but not often. We are renting it out to people at the moment, but for some big projects we really like to bring it. But then I'm not going with a backpack, then you go with like a full-on small carry-on from DB. What do you call this? Inserts? But this one fits better in the DBs than the bigger ones. The reason why we are mainly using DB backpacks is because we have bought, I don't know, I think we have spent around 10,000 euros at least in the last couple of years on backpacks, and that's a lot of money. At the end of the day, they're all giving you different features and everything, but I like to use the DB bags with the camera insert because if I'm going somewhere, I can just take it out and then it's a normal backpack. So something I don't travel all the time with, but I'd like to bring it, and you never really likes it because he always thinks it's too chunky, and if he wants to grab the camera, it's too heavy. That's the RS4 Pro. We have so many DJI products, as you can tell, and Jeremy has the S3 Pro, so it's the version before that, and it's a great gimbal. I think gimbals nowadays, I mean, these are all really good. I think the older version was also really nice. Yeah, for vlogs not that important, but for all the other clients that we shoot with, we always use a gimbal. Last but not least, this is all what I bring. This is the treasure of my entire camera bag. You can steal my camera, but don't steal this. Of course, you have a card reader for the CF-Express. I even have to read it. CF-Express Type B. I always mix them up. Then you have a bunch of SanDisk hard drives. Thank you. And that's not even all of them. I still have somewhere, I don't have it here right now, but I know that I have OG old headphones. If you're on a run and gun situation, I usually travel with my Apple AirPods. Then again, I always try to have the small ones because the noise cancellation is pretty good. And if I'm sitting there in the living room and Jon is playing with the kids, I need really good headphones to just focus on editing and not being distracted. If I don't have any of these or the battery is empty, then I have to go back to headphones, the regular headphones, and that's really simple ones. But I think that's also like a little gadget that, you know, nowadays people don't really bring, but I think that's so key. And then, thank you. This is still the Apple M1 Max. So this is still the OG fast version. You can even see like all these things happened when we were driving the Bernico boat. Just saying, you still gets the job done. It's still fast enough. It's always funny because I always travel with this stuff and then Jon is just like using the iPhone, you know? And that hurts sometimes my soul because I feel like I bring everything and you just use this. But at the end of the day, it's also like we want to shoot it in a very authentic way, and the vlogs are not, of course, the same as they used to be like 5 years ago. And nowadays it's more for memories. It's really fun to shoot personal brands, but again, you also need a lot more stuff because you never know what you're gonna do. Of course, if we shoot with companies, then there is a shooting list and then a whole mood board and everything is decided before, so you really know what to bring. Here it's a bit more, let's say, freestyle, and I like it this way because it's always fun to shoot with him. In a lot of ways, he knows that whatever I'm bringing, there will be some purpose. But I think that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and like I said, discovery call in case you have any questions about cameras or yeah, you're in a chat, you will find in the link description below. With that, see you in the next one.